Guys, we are live. This is live from the Hunter Hotel Investment Conference. Let's start the show.
Hi, welcome to Hospitality Live with Rupesh, the hotel industry's top weekly resource for everything hospitality. Each week, you'll hear insights and the latest trends. Plus, get ready to be inspired by hotel leaders that are here to help you grow. Now, here's your host, Rupesh Patel.
What's up, guys? This has been a fun week. Super excited that we're back in a conference, and it's been a while since we've been to a conference. And today, I am broadcasting live from the Hunter Hotel Investment Conference. Check this out. Hunter, the team at Hunter did an amazing job. Look at the booth out here. And I can't turn it around, but the entire booth is a glass booth. And you can see out into the entire foyer, I guess, or areas where people are hanging out, grabbing breakfast. There's a trade show behind me. Last night, we had our event. Thank you so much to all the amazing people that showed up. We had hundreds of people that showed up in and out for 3 hours. We had a hospitality happy hour. It was so much fun to connect with so many amazing people. Shout out to all the sponsors that sponsored the event. It was a lot of fun. And, we keep it going. And this event is actually probably one of the biggest ones in the last couple of years. I know last year they had 1,200. And the last number I think was like 17 or 1,800 people that are showing up and have showed up for today's or this week's conference. Super excited. Back in Atlanta, where I went to high school. And I know Chip, our featured guest, is from Atlanta too. So I'm super excited to talk to him. And he's going to be on the main stage tomorrow talking about governmental affairs and how it's affecting all of us in our hospitality and our businesses. So Chip's coming up next. But, every week I talk about a mindset. And this week's mindset, I took it back 30 years. And here's my mindset. This is me and my mom growing up 30 years ago. We grew up in a hotel or motel, 50-room motel in South Florida. And, we had one goal, and our goal was to really build a great life and great future for ourselves. And thank you so much to all the folks that commented and shared their experience. But, these are memories that we all are creating. And that's part of that mindset. So, create some memories as you are running your business. Don't just go through the day without taking a moment for yourself and figuring out where you are in your life. Because I said, in 30 more years, you're going to figure out 30 years ago, I was doing this one thing. And this is what we were doing in 1992, running a motel, working the front desk, doing laundry, doing all those things that many folks that have started in the business are doing right now. Or, you might be getting into, or you want to get into something like this. You start somewhere and there's memories that you create. This episode is brought to you by my friends at My Digital Office. Thank you so much to Ali and the entire crew at My Digital Office, because listen, if you are running a hotel and you are faxing reports, or you're pulling reports from one system, you're pulling reports from another system, and that's what a lot of hoteliers do. They just try to make life hard and difficult. And My Digital Office helps all of those problems, and it alleviates all those. So what they do is mydigitaloffice.com. What they do is they grab information from your PMS. They grab information from your accounting, payroll, over 200 data points for your hotel, and put it all into one simple dashboard. I was speaking at their event on Monday, and it was amazing to see 3,500 hotels use their system. Go to mydigitaloffice.com. Thank you so much. They supported my event last night. Shout out to everybody else that supported it too. But go to mydigitaloffice.com. You're going to see a lot more stuff that I'm doing with them, because they have an amazing tool that optimizes our hotels. Now, Sarah couldn't be here this week. She's, traveling and all those things, but I know and Chip doesn't have that much time because he's running around meeting a lot of different people. Let's just bring him on. Chip Rogers. Let me move over. There you go, Chip. Chip, thank you so much. A lot of amazing things that are happening right now with American Hotel and Lodging Association for the industry, and just in general. Let me move this over. Look, get you a good. There you go. A lot of different things are happening in the industry right now, and a lot of great announcements too.
A lot of big announcements. But you had one a moment ago I need to follow up on. What high school did you go to?
I went to Henderson High School near the North Lake Lawn. You know where that is?
I know exactly where it is. DeKalb County's finest, right?
Exactly. And, that was a long time ago.
So I went to North Gwinnett. So we're both
Okay.
native. We're both Atlantans for high school at least. And so I did not know that about you. It's fantastic.
Absolutely. I still have family members here, and shout out to all my cousins that are around. And, we kept it going. And in the South, I had grits this morning, and somebody was like, what are grits?
So
Explain
fantastic.
what grits are to the folks that don't live in the South.
All right. So the closest thing to grits I would think is maybe cream of wheat that people in the North eat. But you don't put sugar on it. You put bacon because bacon goes on everything. Cheese, or you can just eat it plain with butter. But we in the South eat grits. I had a bowl of grits at the Silver Skillet yesterday, which is an Atlanta landmark. And if they haven't put the grits up yet, I'll go have some here in a minute.
The grits here are awesome. We just had them this morning, and I had it with cheese.
Gotta have it with cheese. Gotta have it with cheese.
Well, Chip, yesterday you guys announced some big news and, a lot of different things. And you want to get to that first? You want to talk about business travel, which I passed through airports the last couple of weeks, and I see a lot of business travelers. Is it bleisure or is it business travel?
I'll answer that question. I'll do the news first.
Okay.
The news is so big. So yesterday, we announced after a long time of negotiations that the Castell project is now coming under the AHLA umbrella and will be part of the AHLA Foundation. So moving forward, Castell will be part of the foundation. We're joining forces in our effort to advance women in hospitality, but more specifically, advance women into leadership roles in hospitality. The numbers are pretty clear. 57% of all hotel employees across our industry are women. And yet that is not the same percentage that is recognized in a leadership role. And so clearly there's some things that need to be worked on. These are two organizations, AHLA and Castell, that have been working on these for years. We thought it made a lot of sense to bring them together to maximize our opportunities, to maximize our efforts, and ultimately maximize results.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for inviting us to the press conference there. It was awesome to see Peggy just, she's been working so hard to bring women to leadership roles. These, as long as I've known her. What do you love about Peggy that it said, you know what, you deserve to come into, and we need to partner up?
She's all in, right? This is not a job for her. This is a lifetime passion. And when you find people like that, and she created the Castell project, you find people like that who are so dedicated to it that it's not 9 to 5, it's not Monday, Friday, it is 24/7. That's what they're concerned with. They put everything they have into it. And when you're able to partner with people like that and then add kind of the breadth of what AHLA can bring to the table, the resources that we have that maybe she didn't have at that time, boy, that's a winning combination.
Absolutely. And, even for our portfolio, I feel like most of our GMs, I would say more than 90% of our GMs are women. They're leaders in our hotels, and they've kept it going through this pandemic, right? So I love that you guys are doing this. I love that you have made this initiative to bring women to the forefront as far as leaders. What are some things that women can do to become that leader that you think, that you suggest, be involved with the Castell project and the American Hotel Lodging Foundation?
Yeah.
What else can they do as far as, hey, I want to be this leader. I want to be the CEO, or I want to have a part on stage at a panel.
What's interesting is the numbers tell us the differences between men and women in the workplace when attempting to advance into leadership roles are dramatically different, because men, even if they feel like they're 50% ready to do it, they're going to jump in and say, hey, here I am, hire me, I deserve this. And women are much, much more cautious. And I think that's just the way we're made. And so my advice would be, and I think this is where we can help through the foundation, is that when you bring successful women together with younger women who are looking at them as role models and can say, hey, they did that, I can do that too. It gives them the confidence to step forward, put themselves forward, and maybe attempt to take a role that they're not 100% prepared for, but one that they could ultimately do and do exceptionally well. That's where we think this type of mentorship, this type of leadership, and bringing together these resources to help people are going to make a big difference. But it doesn't just stop as we think about, whether it be a property GM or even in the corporate entities of our industry. It's also ownership. Really important that we have women owners, because there are so many men owners, and it doesn't make sense that it's that lopsided. And so every opportunity needs to be there for women owners.
Right, absolutely. And for the women that are looking to purchase hotels and get involved, there's so many smaller organizations that are now growing to help women, and I'm so happy that American Hotel Lodging Association of Foundations helping to do that. Now let's talk about business travel, like we alluded to in the beginning. Are they coming back?
Yeah, they're coming back. I mean, you can see right out here, right in
Yes.
front of us, as Rupesh described, this is all glass. So you see all these business travelers. This hotel is interesting because it's not just us here. You see there's other organizations that are here having nice. And so, yeah, it's coming back. It's coming back slower than any of us wanted. The good thing is we've had all this leisure travel and about to have a leisure boom like we may have never seen before.
Yeah.
But the business travel is coming back. You know, we just completed a survey and talked about face-to-face meetings and how important they are. Critically important. If you take a look at just the overall population and the population that travels normally for business, and you ask them these questions, are face-to-face meetings important? Getting out there on the road, does it lead to more profitability? Does it help you build and maintain a client base better than if you're not out there on the road? And anywhere from 60 to over 80% of the respondents, whether they're general travelers or business travelers, say, yeah, you got to be out there on the road. You got to be doing this stuff face to face. It absolutely matters. And so we know that the underpinnings are there. We know business travel is starting to come back. I think in April, you're going to see a major vault forward. And like you said, the airports are getting full, and it's not just leisure travelers.
Yeah, airports leaving Orlando were packed, going somewhere else. You think they're coming to Orlando, but they're going somewhere else, which is awesome. Atlanta airport's packed. How are the other airports? You've been flying since the pandemic started, and prior to that, you jumped on hundreds and hundreds of flights as 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Things got shut down, but you kept flying.
So I'm trying to think of the airports I've been in just the last couple of weeks. Atlanta packed, but it's always packed,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I think the interesting one for me is Reagan Airport, because I fly in and out of DC a lot. And there have been times over the pandemic where there's nobody in there. And the last few times, typically, especially in the A terminal, which is the old part of Reagan Airport, you can barely move. It's been so packed. The Phoenix Airport I was in last week, absolutely packed to the gills. Again, no seats sitting around. Now, I was in Seattle a few weeks ago. That one is still not packed. That one is continuing to struggle. And so there are places where it's not back yet. But you look at this air traffic, and the numbers bear it out. The TSA reports show that people are out there, they're flying. I think even more people would fly once we get past the airline mask mandates.
Mm-hmm. When is that coming? When do you think it's coming?
Well, it's supposed to be a few days ago. Now they've moved it to the middle of April. Hopefully they don't extend it again.
Okay. Now, what's going on for American Hotel Lodge Association, and what are you advocating for 2022 and beyond this year and the rest of the year?
But one of the big things that we advocate for every year, where we had an enormous win recently, was on funding for Brand USA. Brand USA is the marketing arm for the United States to the rest of the world, and Congress allocated resources to Brand USA, hundreds of millions of dollars. It's really, the return on that is enormous. Some people estimate at least at a minimum 4 to 1. It's probably higher than that. And so you're going to see billions of dollars of economic activity coming into the U.S. As foreign travel comes back to our country. So a big win there. We're always working on things in both Washington, D.C. and at the state and local level. The problem with D.C. is just there's so much gridlock right now. Nothing really happening too much through Congress other than that big win with Brand USA. The administration continues to work on a number of issues, and we work hand in hand with them where we can. Statewide, right here in the state of Georgia, had a victory on some pro-business legislation that would help create a certain set of workplace rules across the entire state for hotels, and so that we don't get into that situation like you have in California, where they're mandating the maximum you can clean in a day is 3,500 square feet, which is an unworkable number, as you know.
Yeah.
And so I had a big victory here in Georgia on that. So we continue to work in the states, had a nice victory in Florida, your home state, making sure that alternative accommodations don't get to play by a different set of rules than hotels. That's so important. So we're out there all across the country, from Seattle to Miami, and working with our state and local partners to make these things happen.
Right. What can people do to get involved and have their voice heard? Because we have ideas as owners, operators, GMs, whatever you do in the industry. What can people do to be a part of the American Hotel Lodges Association? And by the way, for the folks that aren't up to date on what you guys do, what do you do?
So if you go to our website, you can see all of it, right? And on the AHLA side, mainly, we advocate. We're the voice for the industry, and we work in Washington, D.C. with the federal government. That means both the administration and Congress and all the different departments. But at the state and local level, we're partnering with our state associations because there's some form of hotel and lodging association in just about every state. So we work very closely with them, whether it be city issues like a city like San Francisco or state issues like the state of Florida, where they're working on them. And that stuff never stops. I mean, that's 24/7, 365. Now, the easiest way to get involved with us is to sign up for Hotels Act. And you're probably saying, oh, I don't want to sign up for something. It's free. We start with that. It's free. It takes about 90 seconds to do so. And it's the single best way to get your voice heard, because the way it works, Rupesh, very simple. Whenever we have a major issue, whether it's in Florida, we need to send out an action alert, or whether it's in Washington, D.C., we create a message that we want to go to lawmakers. And that message is from the hotel industry. If you're signed up with Hotels Act, you get an email that says, hey, do you approve of this message? You click yes if you approve it. That message then goes to your representative, because we know who your representative is based on what you signed up for. They get it coming from you. And so it maximizes the effectiveness, because now they're getting a message from their actual constituent.
Local.
But all the messages are the same, so we're speaking with one voice. So Hotels Act, just go to hotelsact.org or go to our website. You can link there as well.
Absolutely. Chip, anything else that we can talk about that is affecting hotels today?
You got inflation, which is a serious issue. Part of inflation, gas prices, that concerns me a little bit. I don't think it's going to really impact the leisure travel too much this summer, because I think what will happen is people will just take shorter trips, but they'll still take trips. But $7 gasoline in California is not something you ever want to see. So supply chain issues, you deal with it. Inflation, which is seen in wages, a lack of workforce is dramatic. We're working on that all the time. So these are things that occupy our every thought.
Absolutely. Chip Rogers, it's always a pleasure.
Thank you, my
Chip,
friend.
listen, Chip said, I want to come on every quarter and talk about what's happening, because so many things have changed and they're changing quickly. So, Chip, I appreciate you always being on and being available and spreading the good word. And thank you so much from all of us in the hospitality industry for supporting all of us as we've been trying to grow.
You bet. Glad to do it.
Thank
you, my friend.
Yep. See you soon. Guys, this has been awesome. Guys, comment. Let me know if you've enjoyed this. And by the way, we are continuing to record. Look, I'm going to do this now. I'm going to turn this around. You're going to check out what is actually what it looks like behind me. Let me unplug this. And look, this is the podcast booth, but look at all these people outside. Right outside there's a trade show on this side. Whoops. There's a trade show on this side. There's a trade show on this side. People are hanging out. And turn the light off. That's okay. And guys, this has been a lot of fun. Guys, thank you so much to Chip Rogers, the entire team. And by the way, thank you to mydigitaloffice.com. If you need help with kind of consolidating all your reports into one easy, accessible system, a dashboard, go to mydigitaloffice.com. Thank you so much to My Digital Office for supporting this episode, and you're going to see a lot more as we talk more about growing our business, optimizing our business, and keeping it going. Guys, thank you so much. Until next week, or actually until a couple of weeks, I'll see you later, guys. Back to the show.